Now, as we've been hearing, all eyes are on the autumn statement, which happens on Thursday. How the government's going to try to balance the books and the effects on everybody's lives. And there are fears that some of the savings could come from the £120 billion the government currently spends on benefit payments every year.
Yes, millions of disabled people rely on this income to help pay for the extra costs of having a disability, as Ruth Clegg reports.
No, Isabel, are you going to pick another flower? Do you want, which one do you want? Do you want this one?
This may not look like a family on the brink, but they survive on benefits and help from family and friends.
If we didn't have that, or it was reduced, God forbid, in any way, we'd lose the house. Keep pushing. We don't get any support for housing costs or anything like that, so good girl. I can't imagine what it would be like to not have that. And in fact, I don't really like to think too much about what it wouldn't be like to have that, because it's too difficult to picture in my head. Move your arm, Isabel.
Elizabeth's life revolves around Isabel's care.
Knees together. She's funny, she's happy, she always wakes up with a smile on her face. Look. Yeah, pay attention. In your wheelchair, please.
Isabel has learning disabilities and epilepsy, and such complex conditions bring many extra costs.
That's expensive, that's £6,000, but for me it's more about the accumulation of stuff. Like, as her mobility's deteriorated or her needs have changed, you slowly add things on.
And it's not like you can just go, right, well, we can cut back on that. Because,
yeah, no.
like you say, Isabel has to have that. That's what she needs.
Yeah. And the wheelchair, actually, this is going to be my next expense. I need to get a quote for another one of these, but as I said, it's
because this one's so
10 years old,
yeah,
and also she's spending more time in it. Hold your iPad for me while I do your medicine. That's good, though. She doesn't have a diagnosis, so I don't know what's going to happen next.
That's really hard.
I'm almost reacting to situations rather than anticipating what's going to happen.
More than 5 million people claim disability benefits, and that support can be crucial, because while disabled people make up just over 20% of the population, they account for more than 40% of the poorest households.
There can be no more cuts, there can be no more austerity, because that will simply lead to the loss of life. People had changed what they're eating, they've reduced what they're eating, they've reduced their transport, they've reduced their medical activities. So a lot of people do some additional things as well, you know, therapies, extra drugs that they may need. Those have all stopped. People cannot afford their health care.
This cafe in Wigan provides a lifeline. Run by disabled people, it's where problems are shared and support is given.
My name is Hannah Shelmadad. I'm a third-year English Literature and Creative Writing student.
At 37, Hannah has been fulfilling a lifelong ambition to get a degree and become a writer. But right now, her independence is at risk.
I feel like a prisoner in my own home, whether it be because of financial reasons and I can't afford to do things, that not having the support in place. My biggest fear is we're going to go back to the institutionalised living that we just got out of.
Without her mum, Isabel would have to go into residential care.
It was either my children or my job, and that's not a choice, is it? There was no choice. This was not going to be my career path. It's not my fault, it's not Isabel's fault, it's the situation that we're in.
What's that?
Camera.
The government says disabled people have received a £150 cost of living payment as part of a wider package of support. But with what could be the biggest financial squeeze in a generation, and with many struggling to make ends meet, disabled people just want to make sure they get their voice heard and listened to before it's too late. Ruth Clegg, BBC News, Greater Manchester.
Lots of you getting in touch about that story this morning, about the issues affecting you right now.